So now Issa Aremu, the Vice President of Nigerian Labour Congress, here with us, taking a look at the entire situation that is unfolding, even in the media. Well, you were talking about the responsibility of all.
Yeah, so I think what is emerging from this trend is that our democratic process needs what I call a kind of quality control. You know, we've made a lot of progress in quantitative terms. Since 1999, I mean, we have enough democratic actors. We have the president, we have the governors, we have the legislators. We also have the institutions of the democratic structures that are there, the parliaments and co. But I think in terms of quality of the process, we need to get it clear. I mean, excessive partisanship must give way to statesmanship. And more so when we have crisis of insecurity at hand. I mean, after the September 11, I mean, you watch it very well. In fact, the media in America changed the narrative. They said America under attack. And you can see, regardless of the divide, both the Democratic Party, the Conservatives, everybody got united to mobilize, you know, to fight back. And you know, what you must give America is that nobody has repeated what happened on September 11 after that. You know, they've been on the move to put the terror attack on the defensive. Now, the point I'm raising here is that when we have national crisis at hand like this, I expect that the statesmanship must give way. I mean, must take over, must preside over, not partisanship. And what we see here, I mean, what I expect the president to have done. In fact, the real meeting coming up on Wednesday should have come much more earlier, better than that. Not only that, the state governors, the president, or the state actors must even be mobilizing non-state actors, including people like us, labor, you know, everybody to get bought into this effort to put an end to this carnage. And we can see, I mean, those who feel it directly, you know, those who wear the shoes feel it more. Look at the parents of these girls who have volunteered to go to that bush to get their kids. You know, so I think why the politicians have the luxury of, you know, blame games, scoring points, you know, apportioning blame, the victims of this disaster don't have that luxury. They want an end to this pain. Yeah, and I think all Nigerians want an end to that.
Let's explore that.
You know, in the case of Nyanya, people are donating blood.
Our own responsibility now. Yes. Let's even start from bottom up. Yeah. Because, I mean, we always look to the top at every level and saying, look, they should have done A, B, C, D, or E. Let's look at our role and our responsibility as citizens in all spheres of life in this country. Do we have the capacity to do certain things? Because some will tell you that, look, what do they want us to do? If you give us emergency numbers, we call, they don't respond. If we try to mobilize, we always have to get somebody up there to kind of lead the charge. Is that always the case? Can we do much more than we do?
Wait. The bottom-up approach to this, I think we are begging the issue. In fact, it's like putting more body on the victims. This crisis has been too bottom-up heavy. If you look at the serial carnages, the serial killings that have taken place, it's mostly at the bottom. Take Nyanya, the community schools. You know, of course, we have high-profile initial attack at United Nations headquarters and co. But if you count the number of casualties, there have been ordinary people from below. Now, the point I'm raising is that I think what we need more is to challenge the agencies that are meant to perform their duty, to do so. And I can see that if there's a will, there will be the way. I listened yesterday to the Minister of Planning, Economic Planning, putting Nigerians on notice. In fact, the word on notice, assuring all the delegates for the World Economic Forum of their security, you know, and giving us notice for crisis-free economic forum. I was highly impressed. I mean, I feel proud as a Nigerian because I also want the economic forum to go ahead. Now, what is good for the economic forum is even more desirable for us as Nigerians. I think our charity must also even start at home. What I'm saying, there is a will, there be the way. What we want to hear is to hear from Minister of Interior Affairs, all the relevant agencies, to also give the same notice to say, oh, schools are safe. You know, we have protection for these schools. Bus stations are saved. Motor park, you know, where ordinary people stay. And when you get that one done, the result will be clear. Nobody is asking for bottom-up approach for the delegates coming up for the economic forum. They are not giving them numbers.
What I
because
said
the forces that are supposed to guarantee our security.
No, I'm not asking for that bottom-up
Yes.
approach to be institutionalized.
Yeah.
I'm only asking, what can we do from bottom up, assuming without conceding that that should be the case?
First, the real bottom-up approach is that critical mass of Nigerians are opposed to this violence. They are not enlisted into it. And I'll give you the example of Nyanya because that directly affected us. Working people who are returning to work, a lot of applicants. You can see some of the littered papers included certificates. I mean, that applicant was actually looking for a job. He wasn't enlisting to be in violence. I mean, bottom-up, ordinary Nigerians were really committed to peace. They want to do that. Then secondly, it's also the fact that mass organization of people who really want peace to be returned, even for the victims, a good number of are listed to give blood, donate for the victims, as the case may be. Now, the challenge, and I can see very well in the case of these female students who are abducted, the principal said as much. Why will you bring security forces to guide them when they were doing exams?
Why
did they bring them? Only to withdraw them after. Are you getting what I'm reading? They brought security to protect them when they were doing the exam. You know, they did the jam. Is it the, what do you call it?
That wasn't the account I heard.
I thought that, no, yeah.
The account I heard was that there was a policeman and a soldier detailed to the school. Maybe there were more, I don't know, but those people were killed.
No, what I read about her was that they withdrew immediately after the exams, they withdrew the security forces.
Because all we seem to be getting
and
now
I thought that after what happened at the
accounts.
Federal Government College, Yobe, you know, where they were murdered, I mean, callously, by now, all schools must be protected. You know, as the case may be, because we've seen that serially schools were under attack. You know, so what I'm trying to say is that I think as we want to train the ordinary people, the bodies of those who pay to protect us, to do their work. Yes.
What we also see, what seems to be coming out of this are the conflicting narratives, because now we're getting to hear, just yesterday we did hear, or 2 days ago, that the one story, just one part of it has been consistent, that the people came in army fatigue and they came in Hilux vehicles and they took the children away. But one of the things we heard was that they came into the town, shooting sporadically, burning houses, and then they went to the school and took the children, packed them in the buses, in the vehicles, and took them away. Now we hear from the principal that she assumed that they were soldiers and that the soldiers had, said that the children should be evacuated for their own safety. But when you also hear the account that a soldier was killed and, some security men ran away, you begin to wonder, how consistent are the stories? Do you think that information is also being properly, disseminated from that particular end?
Yeah, well, I mean, it comes down to all the points that we're raising, that this is a time for serious sober reflection. That there's a lot of incoherence, in our response, largely top down. I mean, the top is not really coherent, and that's the point I'm raising, that once we operate separately, we'll be defeated collectively. And that's why the luxury of these exchanges, between the presidency, some governors, over stakeholders meeting, is what we cannot entertain. I think it's important that, I mean, from all the accounts of the story you are telling me, either this guy came as decor, they put on uniforms, fool everybody pretending to be the one protecting you, only for us to become victims. I think there's a system failure there. It requires the need for all the agencies to work together, but they won't do that when the one we're even seen openly on television shows division rather than coherence. And that's the point I raised earlier on, to say the burden is slightly on the president. I will refer to his speech at the national conference, which was well acknowledged. Everybody commended that speech. The president used the word compatriots almost about 5-6 times. He was appealing to all Nigerians, regardless of the divide, not partisan. And he called for all-inclusive approach. We should forget all the personal divide. I thought at this hour he shouldn't preside over
I like that you thought at this hour,
because
I think that should be the thinking of almost Nigerians.
Yeah, so what I'm saying
but again, if you look at it, irrespective of political affiliation, from what Mr. Prt2 has said and from what the APC has reacted, or the reaction of the APC to his comment, it doesn't seem that anyone has actually listened to Mr. President's comment and speech.
So what
or
I'm
appeal.
Even those who say they are working for the president, they are not really helping him at all. Because from the president's speech, and that's the spirit going on at the national conference. He called for inclusiveness, and you can see from initial takeoff of division. After his speech, everybody got bought into a bigger Nigerian agenda. And I think that's the way we should definitely operate. And here it's not even no more hypothetical. It's not theoretical. We are counting dead bodies. If you saw even the way the media report, only 8 remaining. Only. A single human being. In my faith, you take one life, you take the whole nation. Not to talk of 8. And these children with the pupils we are talking about, please, they are not just 100. It's not statistics. We are talking of future doctors, future nurses, future legislators. I want to leave you with this one because I feel strongly about that. I think so far the fellow that has really impressed me in this demonstrates a lot of statesmanship is the speaker. His intervention was very, very. He said, no, this is time for statesmanship. You can't be talking of party affiliations. Because even the victims, they cut across all our divide. So I strongly believe that not only that all the state actors, president, governors, legislators must sit up, and we have a good number of them, Nigeria Paris, but they should even mobilize non-state actors. And this is why the point you are raising. Who will charge us? Those from below. With telephone number, how do we report? But we can't report to even those people who themselves seems to read the partisan reading to every crisis. Yeah.